Hello and welcome into another video with me, Sky Fellowship, and today is probably going to be a quick one because Summer Game Fest technically started yesterday, but the whole point is today's video is about Summer Game Fest, and I'm actually going to try and get that that's kind of funny that happened. I'm actually going to try to get that track is what I thought. I'd see if I could get the Animal Crossing track in summer. So to be fair, why am I going in Grand Prix? I'm better off just choosing versus race, aren't I? So yeah, Summer Game Fest is starting. And we've got State of Play tonight. We get, obviously, the Xbox One at some point. I can't honestly remember if they've mentioned the date for that yet. I was looking earlier on and I didn't actually find a link for it anywhere. So I don't know when the Xbox One is. We also get the actual Summer Games Fest event itself on Friday. And at some point, hopefully, we're getting a fucking not Animal Crossing. Hopefully, we're getting a Nintendo Direct, which I assume we're going to get one because at the end of autumn, shame, one after, one too late. I assume we're going to get a Direct because at the end of the day, firstly, they usually do one. It's very rare that they actually miss June, July area, and I think it's usually June anyway. But there's not really much known with the future of the Switch 2 at this moment in time. There's a lot of franchises that we know nothing about. There's one specific one, and I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I honestly can't put my mind to. I'm sure some franchises having a 40th anniversary this year, you know, that they've just completely neglected to mention at any fucking point. Sorry, I'm just a little salty about this. So I would really, really like to think we're going to get Direct soon, and that we'll maybe get what the fuck they're working on for Zelda's 40th, and I know obviously there's a lot of people, thanks to a certain leaker, hoping to fuck that it's a Ocarina of Time remake, which there's also other people going, well, why are we getting another remake? The first one wasn't a remake, the first one was a remaster thing. It's like the whole terminology that people are using for a lot of stuff where what is technically a remake? Well, in this case, we're expecting, according to a lot of people and some leakers and a lot of the hopes because of the likes of Final Fantasy VII and Resident Evil 4, we're expecting a from the ground up remake, an actual remake, and that is something that's never been done before, and it's why a lot of us would really like it, because that game is still incredibly good, even to this day. But it also is limited. It's limited to the hardware it's stuck on. It's limited to a lot of things. But it is still an absolutely magnificent game. So we'd really like to have a modernized version of it, quite frankly. And if you don't like the modernized version, you still get the old version. And that's going to be true of me as well. If it turns out I actually end up hating the modernized version and I'm like, you've ruined one of my favorite games, well, I'll still have the original version. But I don't expect them to do it. I want to say expecting when they do this, that it's going to hit it out the park, because you don't just remake the highest rated game of all time and do a bad job. And obviously that means that there's some pressure, because this is why some people think that it won't actually get remade, because at the end of the day, it is the highest rated game of all time. You can only really tarnish its legacy, but at the same time, Nintendo rarely miss. And maybe they'll be riding on the high of, well, no one said we could top Breath of the Wild, and then we topped Breath of the Wild, you know? So maybe they do it. And I wouldn't put my faith against them. I think when it happens, it'll be amazing. And yeah, hopefully that'll be announced this month. There's so many hopes, though, to be announced. As always, there'll be the Half-Life 3 thing, which I think we're in the dying window of that now. Half-Life 3 became a wish, it became a meme, it became, oh, we're definitely going to get it, and then it slowly became, oh, maybe not going to get it, definitely not going to get it, this has been secretly cancelled, hasn't it, oh, this has been cancelled, oh, Half-Life Alyx on VR, which, by the way, I actually called a long time ago, and I wish I'd recorded it on a video, that I actually said to people, the next Half-Life will be VR exclusive, there's no ifs, ands, or buts in my mind, and I got so many people laughing, saying, why would they do that? And then Alyx existed, and it's like, how did you know? And it's like, because Half-Life, specifically Half-Life, is always what Valve do to show off their new tech. That's the way Half-Life is. Everyone knows this. The entire industry knows this. And it was not exactly difficult to surmise VR is starting to become a big thing, and there's some new tech coming in the works, and oh look at that, Valve have a headset, and oh look at that, there's a Half-Life game. And that's why we enter the glimmer of hope again, because as we all know, Steam controller came out recently, Steam Box is coming out soon, the Steam VR headset is coming out soon, the new one. It's all going to be very expensive. Thankfully, I don't want a Steam Box. I've got a better PC than it already, but that fucking VR headset's probably going to bankrupt me. But yeah, Half-Life 3. Slight glimmer of hope. But I think we're already in the dying window, because you have to get this out there. If it's actually coming out for the Steam machine and everything, you have to get it out there. And the thing is, we're in a cycle where everyone is used to a game being announced, and then 27 years later, the game gets released. Half-Life 3 is going to come out. I understand. Like, I want you all to accept this reality. If it gets announced, if it's real, if it's actually finally happening because of the Steam machine and everything, it's going to come out probably within 6 months of its announcement, maybe even 3 months. And before anyone says, well, how the hell could they do that? They've been working on this game for like 25 fucking years. I don't think they need to announce it and then say, oh, it'll be another 5 years away. It's coming, and it's most likely coming this year. If it's coming. And this is what I mean. I feel we're in that window, but the window's dying. I feel we have Summer Game Fest and the Game Awards this year, and that's it. And the reason that I'm leaning towards Summer Game Fest is... well, there's a couple of reasons, actually. One is kind of logically, they want their console hybrid PC thingy out. They want it released this year. They want to be able to sell it, which means it's got to have the killer app and the reason that will drive people to it. And obviously it'll run on PCs, but it will still shift units, especially if they do a bundle where it comes with it. And I think they might have to do a bundle because of the amount of money that it's going to cost because of all of the RAM shit, because of the AI apocalypse thing. So it makes sense that you do it in the Summer Game Fest one, so that you can do a release date for the console and maybe release it in August, September, October, November time, you know. If you announce it at the Game Awards, then what? You've done the Steam console thing with absolutely no hype, nothing released around it, everyone complaining, why was there no Half-Life 3? Did they really have no Half-Life 3? That would dominate the entire headlines, and then you announce it at the Game Awards. I feel it would be... I mean, it would still get a lot of hype, but I don't think that's a good marketing strategy. But then the other reason is, and this might be the cope part of me, as much as I don't shill for anything or anyone with, like, the Game Awards or anything, I'm as anti-capitalist as you can get. I absolutely despise everything about capitalism, yet I love the Game Awards and the Summer Game Fest and everything, which is just a giant capitalistic event of, hey, look at all this shit that we want to sell you. But at the same time, all of this stuff with video games is art, and it's people's art, and it's people's work, and it's all of the fun that we get with it, and all of the stories, and all of the emotional baggage, and everything that you get with it, everything that makes gaming so fucking important to so many people. And unfortunately, because the entire world is a capitalistic hellscape, this is the only way to really interact with it. So I still, as much as I hate all of the giant adverts of things, and I truly do hate that we are in a world now where on Amazon, which I try to avoid using as much as possible, but I'm chronically ill and I never leave the house, so unfortunately I have to use sites like that, I can now go into my orders list and get advertised shit to buy. And I don't mean stuff that I've already ordered, I mean, this is your sponsored thing, this is a brand of razors, that, like, it's maddening. But you also get it on trailers. Trailers are adverts, people. That's all they are, and we all know this. We all know that trailers are adverts. It's, hey, do you want to go out and buy this? Do you want to consume this? Do you want to pay money for this? Why the fuck do we get adverts before trailers now? On YouTube? Just why? Why is it if I'm going to click onto a 2-minute advert, I have to get 3 adverts before that 2-minute advert? So I understand all of the advertising side of this. And I am still on my point of the cope part of this. As much as I don't shill for these people, I really do like these events. And I know fine well a lot of how they work. And I know some of the things that Jeff Keighley is or isn't going to be willing to see. I know that a lot of people would like him to take a stand on a lot of things that he's just never going to do because of how corporate these events are. But everyone in the world knows that this man ended the Game Awards with a game that he was personally really excited about, that came out, that got absolutely despised en masse because it had this weird Nepo baby push behind it, even though he's allowed to have his own personal opinions and he might have genuinely liked it. A lot of people who played Highguard liked it. But it came out, it was an absolute colossal failure. He constantly doubled down on the, hey, when this game comes out, you'll be eating your words and you'll be saying sorry for me. And it was a complete and utter fucking train wreck. So, there's two ways to go about this. Jeff either does the throws his toys and has a wah and does all of the I'm just not going to give you any final reveal type thing as a fuck you to everyone who was a dick, or he delivers something that's bigger than the history of anything, and he delivers Half-Life fucking 3. There might be other stuff they can do. It's not going to be like the Ocarina rework or anything. It's not going to be anything major for any of the three companies, because at the end of the day, the three companies have their own things this event. Sony's not going to do a brand new Infamous as the final game reveal at Summer Game Fest. It's going to do a brand new Infamous as a final game reveal for State of Play. Nintendo's not going to do the final game reveal of Ocarina of Time remake at Summer Games Fest. It's going to do it in its Nintendo Direct. Xbox isn't going to cancel 17 games as the final game reveal. It's going to announce 17 games and then it's going to cancel them all. You know? But Steam, Valve, they don't have one of these events. And yeah, they don't actually need Summer Games Fest. They're bigger than Summer Games Fest. But at the same time, what's a great place that a lot of people, a lot of normies, a lot of casuals, a lot of people who don't watch all of these events, a lot of people who genuinely think that there's only 2 game events of the year and for some reason forget all about PAX and all of the award shows and all of the DICE Awards and everything like that. There's more than just the Game Awards and Summer Gamer Fest. There's more than just one award show. There's the BAFTAs, the Brits. There's all sorts of different places, you know? There's more than just 1 or 2 trailer events. But the normies and the casuals tuned into this one and the Game Awards, and those are the only 2 that they do. And the normies and the casuals are the people you need to sell your Steam box to. So if you end the Game Awards, sorry, the Summer Game Fest with Half-Life 3 and then announcing launching day and date on the Steam box, and the release date for both of them is your announcement, a lot of people are going to say that. As much as Valve and Steam don't need the Summer Games Fest event technically, feels like an opportunity that they also wouldn't turn down. So yeah, maybe that's the quip. But at this moment in time, I think we have these 2 events. And that is what I'm sticking to. If Half-Life 3 is not announced at Summer Games Fest, and it is not announced at the Game Awards by the end of 2026, I am finally on the camp of it's just dead, it's never coming out, and it doesn't exist. I think we've went through this roller coaster so many times. These do feel like the last, truly last shot attempts of Half-Life 3's getting announced. And with that, I'm going to end this video and say I will probably do a video about the Sony State of Play. I will probably do a video about the Xbox event. I will try to be less salty about the Xbox event, but at the end of the day, fuck Microsoft so much for so many things. I will definitely do a video about the Nintendo Direct, and I'm not going to be doing reactions or anything. There's so many YouTubers who do that. I'm just going to be doing videos talking about my thoughts, and I will definitely do one about Summer Games Fest. And if Half-Life 3 gets announced, there'll be a video on that. Might just be me screaming and running around half naked, like sheer joy, fist pumping the air for 30 minutes, but there might be a video. Because I've waited so long for this fucking thing. And the world's in such a shit state. Can we just please get Half-Life 3 and Ocarina of Time? Just please? And with that, I'm going to say bye. I've been Sky Fellowship. I truly do hope you have a great rest of your day. And until the next time, bye.